our faces with each crescendo. A world engulfed in fire and smoke. A car alarm sings falsetto. Everything is fine. Nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong. Somewhere a mother waits, patient for the roof to cave in. The kind of fear that from our sofa I can hardly imagine. A world engulfed in fire and smoke. Her baby cries a falsetto. Everything is fine. Nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong. Everything is calm. No cause for alarm. Nothing's wrong. Nothing's Don't you dare believe your lying eyes. Don't you dare believe your lying eyes. Everything is fine. Nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong. Everything is calm. No cause for alarm. Nothing's wrong. Nothing's
Oh, so Randy actually came to the project a little bit later on, but initially Andre and I met through the tattoo scene. He gets tattooed by one of my colleagues, and we got chatting about music, and started out as a little bit of a kind of alt folk project, just the two of us, and then decided to expand things a little bit, found a drummer, and eventually found Randy, who I'm going to give the opportunity to talk about now.
Yeah, I was recruited over Instagram, sort of as part of the spoken word scene previously, and I had only been playing bass for a couple of years at that point, and only ever done like one project that never really took off. So I kind of thought like, okay, I'll give it a try and I'll see if it works. And for me, it was really important that I felt like it was like a safe space, I suppose, that I don't feel like I'm going to be judged for like not being able to like read music or like not being able to, I don't know, or like being able to do any like specific techniques and stuff. And so for me, it was pretty much like clear right after the first practice. I was like, we were in a hot box of a practice room. It was very tiny, small. But yeah, I was like, okay, I feel comfortable enough to play music with these people.
I think the important things for me was more about... Sorry. I think the most important stuff for me was finding kind of like-minded people who wanted to explore creatively, more than necessarily having like, okay, here's a finished professional product straight away. I've been writing and recording songs for a long time, and had a lot of music kind of ready to go, so we just got into a room together and started hatching it out. But I think the important thing was we got along as kind of friends first, rather than going, okay, this is just a music project, this is just a creative project. And I think that kind of shines through a little bit, certainly in the live shows and the workflow that we have now.
And for me, as far as being a part of a project, it was really a great relief to come into a project where Tom did bring a lot of the songs sort of not potentially like completely done, but there was a lot of meat on the bones as far as like bringing in, you know, something, this is my idea, what do you want to add to it? Because I often find that too many cooks in the kitchen can kind of ruin the recipe a little bit, and so I value that you bring a lot of like ideas that are already quite robust, and that we are able to like bring in our own ideas at any time. But Tom like has the musical and creative chops to be able to bring in a product that is 80% of the way, 90% of the way done. And if we're feeling lazy, we're like, okay, all right, that's a song, let's go for it. Like I like the ability to be able to pick and choose when I can be creative.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I would kind of describe us. I would say that the sound is quite indebted to the American indie of the kind of late 90s and early noughties, the emo scene from that same time, certainly massively influenced by bands like Death Cab for Cutie and Manchester Orchestra, Modest Mouse, The National, those kinds of predominantly pan-Atlantic indie bands, but also again, like I've played a lot of folk music over the years, so a lot of the more narrative elements to the storytelling and the songwriting in Fox Red as a project tends to come from that, and come from a slightly more kind of traditional oral storytelling approach.
I think something that really helps create our sound and make it a little bit more fresh with each like new song that we're, you know, putting together is that we do have a lot of different music tastes within the group. You know, like some of us like hip hop, some of us don't. Some of us are into shoegaze, and some of us not so much. You can tell by the size of the pedal boards. Some of us are like into like metalcore, and like other not so much. So I think, you know, even if not maybe those elements in particular are coming into every song, I do think it keeps us like fresh and exciting because we have so many different influences, and we're not just all into indie, we're not just all into alternative music.
Yeah, I think the benefit of that being like we're not just going, okay, let's sound like this thing. There's a lot of different kind of flavors coming in from each member. You know, generally speaking, we've had a couple of reshuffles of the lineup due to some interpersonal clashes, but generally speaking, I think we all get along pretty well. We've kind of refined our workflow for songwriting and recording to the point that now it's a pretty well-oiled machine, and yeah, I don't think we've ever really fallen out about anything, if I'm entirely honest.
I think if there's ever, for example, like an idea or a quote-unquote conflict about like something musically, I feel that we've always been able to solve it in a relatively like democratic and diplomatic way. Like, okay, what do you think? Like, let's like take a little mini vote about it, you know? And if like, you know, we're 4 people, so if 3 people say yes and 1 person says no, all right, then it's worth testing out for a little bit to see maybe if we can warm ourselves up to the idea of like doing this chorus this way or like adding this refrain, wherever. Yeah, so I think democracy.
Yeah, democracy's the key.
Yeah.
Cool.